Hello, thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I'm Dr. Smith, Head of Wombourne High School, and I would like to talk you through the curriculum and the options process at Wombourne for our Year 9 students. The purpose of the presentation is for you to gain an understanding of our curriculum here, but most importantly, at this time of the year, for you to be clear about how we will operate our options process. We think that the options process is quite an exciting time for students as they can start to focus their studies on the things that they are interested in. I've put on the screen there, it enables students to choose subjects that allow progression to a desired career. It allows them to become more specialised. It allows the students to study those subjects that they really enjoy. But also we do aim to keep a broad and balanced curriculum. We think that's really important because students might change their mind on what they'd like to do in the future, their interests might change, so it's important our curriculum remains broad, but it does become more specialised. At Wombourne, our students will study 9 qualifications. So that's 9 GCSEs or BTECs or Cambridge Nationals, but they will finish Year 11 with 9 qualifications. In addition to that, students will also continue to study, all students, PE, RE, PSHE, citizenship, work-related learning, but they will not necessarily be examine subjects. So 9 qualifications which will result in qualifications, plus lots of other things that we also think are important for students to continue studying. To give you a little bit of background on how we've designed the curriculum, it's important that you appreciate that nationally the government introduced something called the English Baccalaureate, the EBAC, a few years ago, which they believe is a good grounding for students to have, a good base. And really the reason that was designed is to make sure that we don't narrow the curriculum for students too early in their lives, that students have that broad base for them to then build on and specialise in later on. And the EBAC, to pass the EBAC, you would need to study and successfully complete courses in English, maths, science, a humanities subject, which is history, geography or ancient history, and a modern foreign language. So at Wombourne, based on that, all of our students will study English language and English literature. That results in 2 qualifications. They will also study maths. They will study science, and the qualification that they will be awarded in science is called Trilogy Science. It's called Trilogy because it involves elements of biology, chemistry and physics, the 3 science elements, but it's a double award GCSE. It results in 2 science qualifications. So at the end of Year 11, a student may leave with 2 grade 5s or a grade 7 and an 8 or 2 grade 9s. They will be awarded 2 separate GCSEs in their science, and it's Trilogy Science they study. So English language, English literature, maths, 2 sciences. All students will also study a humanities subject, and they will have a choice of history, ancient history or geography. And then the majority of our students will study a modern foreign language. As I indicated, the government think that that's wise for the majority of students to have that academic rigorous background and academic rigour, so regardless of where interests lie, that is our core curriculum. There are a few students who we think that studying a modern foreign language isn't the best option, and those students have chosen a vocational element, and we've spoken to those students. In addition, and that's what really this presentation is all about, we like to give all of our students 2 free options so that students can choose and specialise in the subjects that they would really like to do, that they're good at, that they see themselves going into a career potentially in that area. Shown on the screen is what our options process, our option blocks look like. So this year we're going to be asking our students to choose a subject that they're most interested in studying from option block A. So students have a choice between art, business studies, computer science, iMedia, dance, history, music, PE and BTEC sport. We're going to ask students to pick their top choice in option block A and also give us a backup choice. It's quite possible that one or two of those subjects in option block A won't run because of lack of interest from the students, and then it may be that we put two classes for another subject on. So it's very important that students give us a backup choice as well as their top choice, and it's very important that they would be interested in studying either of those first choice or second choice subjects from option block A. Then we're going to ask students to do the same for option block B. So in option block B, students have a choice of art, business studies, DT, engineering, food, health and social care, performing arts, RE and triple science. We hope that gives you a good flavour of lots of different subjects, and we have thought about this carefully because we would like students to really be able to specialise in something that they're going to enjoy and therefore do well on. So this is a very important slide to think about, to really consider, but you will be issued this in a booklet, so you will have lots of time as a family to be able to work out what are the best subject choices for the student in question. We'll help you along that process, so please don't feel that you're doing that in isolation. Pick up a phone, drop us an email. There's lots of people here who will be able to help you in that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later in the presentation. One or two other things to consider is the core curriculum at this school and at many schools is very academic and does result in a large part of the courses being examined at the end of year 11. So if you think of those English qualifications, the maths, the science, the humanities, the MFL, they are very academic subjects that result and that they're examined by terminal exams. There's very little coursework in the current specifications. We would therefore ask all families to really consider whether there is a vocational subject for at least one of the students' choices that they would like to study. If this is the case, it means that there's slightly less pressure on the student at the very end of year 11. They can have at least one of their subjects which they've built up evidence for throughout the course and have nearly finished before they get to those year 11 exams, which means they can focus their attention on those GCSE academic qualifications. So we would recommend, no matter what the academic level of the student, if there is a vocational course that they are interested in, we do think that you should really consider whether that should be the course for your student. It's really good if there's a balance of the vocational and the academic. It does help everybody. So do think about that. The other advice we give when students pick subjects is please don't pick a subject because your friends are or because you like the teacher. That may not work out very successfully. If that is the criteria used, it may be friends get put on another subject or in another course. It may be that the teacher you like isn't teaching it in year 10 or year 11, so please don't use those as criteria for picking a subject. They aren't wise. What is wise to do is to pick a subject because you enjoy it, because you are good at it, and because it might be linked to something that you want to do in your future career. I would say that that first sentence about picking a subject is the most important one. Pick a subject because you enjoy it. If you enjoy a subject, you're going to work hard in it. And if you work hard in it, you're going to be successful. So you do need to think about future careers. You do need to think about what you're good at, but most importantly, what do you enjoy? In terms of the careers aspects of this, because we have a broad academic base, many subjects at A-level and at university will be open to you no matter what option subjects you pick. However, do bear in mind that if you would like to study a subject such as computer science or art or DT or subject like that that's specialist at A level, you will have needed to study it at GCSE. So if you do have particular areas that you think you will want to go into, do look at what they require so you're just going down the right path. But don't be overly concerned because the curriculum is broad, so you should have a good base for your future career in whatever that will be. In terms of that, please, as students, don't try and make the decision on your own. It is very wise to get information from lots of different people, tutors and subject teachers at school, family members, other students in other year groups are a really good source of information. I know that's more difficult as we're working in bubbles in COVID, but trying to access older student information via emails or by talking to older brothers and sisters is a very good source of information on what the subject involves on a day-to-day basis. We also hope that the videos that we're putting together from each subject will give you some information about what the subject involves to really help you get a flavour of what the subjects will be. Okay. I hope that information has been useful to you. Like I said, we're on the end of a phone, we're on the end of an email, so if you're confused about any part of the process, do let us know. In terms of the logistics, you've just watched the presentation and thank you for doing that. And we're then going to have a Year 9 Parents Evening the second week back after the Easter holiday, and that will give you an opportunity as families to discuss subjects with subject teachers and to look at suitability for courses. So it's an idea then to be bringing questions to the meetings if there's anything that's playing on your minds. Following the Parents' Evening, we're then going to give you a little bit of time to make your decisions, and we're going to be asked that the completed option form is sent back to school electronically by the 7th of May. We will then in May and June be looking at course viability, be assigning students to the different courses in the blocks and be trying to put the jigsaw together so that we've got a good fit that works for as many students as we can make it work for. Our aim is to put you on courses where you're happy and where you're going to succeed, and to work in combination and partnership to do that. We will send you our final course confirmations before the summer, and in that time, if you've changed your mind, let us know. We'll always try and alter, we'll always try and be helpful. But the one thing I would say is, once the courses begin in September, it's at that point that we aren't willing to make subject changes. And that's because if you're moving course halfway through September, you've already missed several weeks teaching and homework and everything else for a particular subject, and therefore you wouldn't be able to reach your potential in it because you've already missed the very beginning and the very important parts of the course. So by September, before you come back in Year 10, it's very important that you're on the right courses and you've made the right decisions. Just one more thing to add from me. Please remember that your curriculum, the things that you study, the things that you're involved in, isn't just about qualifications. And we would encourage you right the way through to school and out of school to be involved in as many opportunities as possible. We do know that this has been limited because of COVID. However, we would ask that as we start to be able to do more, do get involved in shows, in productions, in visits, in Duke of Edinburgh, because all of these things enrich your lives and make you into a really, really rounded person, which is therefore looking very positive on CVs to be able to go into careers and into jobs. It allows you to stand out and be better than the candidate next to you. So to get involved, don't think it's just about the taught curriculum in school. There is so much more on offer, and we would encourage you to have a broad and an interesting CV. Thank you for your time in watching this presentation.